All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second Tokenbound Hackathon workshop. Um, for today, we're having Ademola Kelvin, who's going to be taking us on integrating the TypeScript SDK and connectkit. So within the compound suite, we built a lot of tools that should help you with integrating ERC6 or stapleton, right, and Starknet. Some of these tools include the development kits and the connect kit. So Kelvin is going to be taking us on how you can basically use these tools for building applications which utilizes the compound accounts. And Kelvin, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. All right, so I'm going to be handing the mic over to you. Just
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good to have you here once again. Um, I'll start by going through. Let me share my screen first. Going through the idea of like token bounds and basically the technical aspect. Understanding the architecture before understanding the architecture, then would dive into the SDK itself. So basically, there are two components, right? You have like the registry, and then you have the accounts, right? And the registry is like the entry point where your NFT asset is being transformed into a smart account in this case. And why am I say like pointing to this? So when we are integrating with the SDK, right? Sorry, give me a minute. Can you see my screen? Please, if you can see my screen, signify. Can you guys see my screen? Uh,
Yes, I can see
Yep,
your
we can
screen.
see your screen.
okay, awesome. Yeah, so you have the registrar and then you have the account here. So going into like uh the API references, configuring our SDK, would say that so there are like two approaches you can use. You can either like integrate with a front end or integrate with the back end. So to integrate with the front end, you'd have to like set up this option where you have to like pass in your registry address and then the implementation address. So the registry address and the implementation address are was the reason why I had to like explain why we have this architecture, right? And if you I don't know if you've dived into the contract, but basically if you go into the contract, you say that there are two major contracts, right? Um, the account component and also uh, what's the account component and also the registry contract. And these contracts have already been deployed on chain, right? So we are just like referencing the address. The mainnet V1 here was like the first version of the token bound implementation we had current, and the V2 is the current implementation. So you have the registry contract address, which you'll be integrating with, and then you have the implementation um, class hash, which is the account. So to follow along with this workshop, just head to Oruslab repository and clone the repo called workshop, right? It's a simple Next.js app that contains like the things we'll be doing today. So I would go ahead. Please, if you have any question along the way, please just call my attention to it. Um, so if there's something that is not clear, please call my attention to so we can. So firstly, we'll be taking a look at the SDK and just a little overview of what the SDK is. So the SDK is a development tool, right, that enables you to integrate to tokenbound accounts. It gives you the functionality of creating an account that is transforming an NFT into a tokenbound, and then you can get the account, check deployment status, and get the owner of an NFT, transfer an NFT, and also like transfer ERC20. So these are like the major functionalities you can here. And to get started, basically, you have to install the because
Hi, Kelvin, are you still there? I think we lost you. Oh, sorry. I think Kelvin is having a little bit of issue with his network.
it seems I got
Okay.
connected, right?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, my network switched was misbehaving. I had to like switch network. But it's clear now, right?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly now.
Yeah, so I shared the link to the workshop on the chat box. So you don't need to like so once you clean the repo, just run yarn install, and then it's going to install the necessary dependencies for you, right? And let's dive right into it. So we've installed the SDK, then let's
Seriously.
proceed to API. Yeah, okay, you can see my screen. Oh, sorry. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is what we're building. So for anybody looking for project idea, you can complete this. So it's basically like a token bound, should I call it launchpad or token bound manager, something that an individual can use, any wallet can use to like either create a token bound, also like let me, so you can create a token bound, specifying the contract address and then the token ID, um, an account. You can get the account, a token bound account, and also like lock an account, and also like get the status of an account, if the account is locked or not. And reason why you are able to like lock an account is basically because when you for NFT marketplaces, right, you want to ensure that the communication between the buyer and the seller proceeds well before you release your assets out, right? And also status, to check your the status of your token bar account, if it has been deployed or not. And you like get a better understanding of why we have these interfaces if you've explored the token bar explorer, and also the transfer um, token. So basically, the idea of this is to like give you like should I call it like an environment that enables you to like spin up or deploy or check the status of a token bond without necessarily have to like go into the Explorer or anything like that. So I have already configured some part of the project. I'll just like explain what they do. I already configured it with the Starknet provider, which gives you the functionality of connecting your wallet basically with the wallets we know of, Agents and Bravos. And yeah, in the headers, there's nothing much going on. It's just like rendering the nav bar and also the wallet connect here. So in the constant folder, right, I have something specified. So if you go to this section, standard configuration, you see that you need to like specify a JSON RPC field, which basically creates like an entry point to a node that enables you to like write or read from the blockchain, right? So for this workshop, I'll be working with the mainnet. Yeah, gas is on mainnet is cheap, so sorry. Also, we have like the implementation hash here and then the registry address. Just ignore these two. So for this workshop, I have an NFT deployed already. And just go to StockScan to get the details. Portfolio. Yeah, sure. So I need the contract address, the NFT contract address, and then the token ID here. So what we need to like do first is to configure the SDK, right? And how do we do that? Go into the API references. So we get access to an account from the Starknet React Connect here. So I don't know, do we have any questions so far before I proceed? Or can I go ahead? Okay. Then you have to configure these options. Let me just copy this. So do you have the registry address here? Specify the registry address. Then the implementation address. Implementation hash. Then the JSON RPC. So under the constants, I have like a JSON RPC, a main JSON RPC here, which I'm going to specify. Yeah. Right. So we have to like, so what we're going to do is like check, okay, if the account is present, that is, if a user has like connected his wallet, then the account objects will be present. Then we have to like initialize this variable with a new tokenbound client, and then we
Sorry,
pass in the option.
can you zoom in a bit? I think it's not like quite clear for like the audience. Yeah.
Okay, is it better now?
Yeah, for mine, I think it's better. Kakuza, is this okay? All right, yeah, you can proceed.
Okay, it's better now, right? Okay, sorry. I think it's because I'm splitting my screen. Yeah, so basically all we did here was just like do the setup, right? So since we have different pages, right, you can see that if I go back to this, yeah, we have like the create page, we have the accounts page, and then we have the status, and then you have the transfer. I don't want to like start initializing what do you call it, token bound instance in all of these pages. So it does make sense to like create a hooks, right? And um from that hooks, I have access to the token bound instance here. So with the first page, you're going to like implement it, integrate with is um, the create, which contains like which has a contract address and also a token ID field. So why do we have this? If we check under the so we've done the configuration successfully, right? And if you check under the create account, it says create a token bound account for an NFT. The deterministic address is calculated using deploy score with listed parameters alongside the implementation addresses. So create account adds the account to the registry and initializes it for you. So basically, create account, right, gives you sort of like turns your NFT into um, a smart account via the registry, and you can like understand what the syscall does better in the token bound contract. So rather than start configuring state and things here, so I've already like done what do we call it? What do we call it now? Some boilerplate stuff. So let's say I try to get the field of this. I don't know if it's everybody that's familiar with React, but this is take it. Sorry. So if I should pass anything here, I basically can like yeah have access to the input field, right? So sorry. So proceeding with what we're implementing, right? So we want to like create accounts. So please give me a minute to split my screen so you can see the parameters are passing into this. Right, so to create an account, it expects token contract, it expects a token ID, which we already like have configured state for, and then we have an input field that collects the token contract address and also the token ID and the submit button. Now to do this, we have to like get the instance of our token bound. Use token bound SDK. Yeah. So now that we have this instance, so we want to like do some should I say some little like configurations, right? We want to like ensure that once you don't pass in an empty field here. So we have the token contract address and also we have the token ID. So I would say if token, this is just like a simple demo. You have like libraries that enables you to like do checks on input fields, right? But this is just something simple. Train is equals to none. Then let's say we alert connect p empty set loading to false. Then return nothing. Then proceeding with this, we want to like do a try catch. It feels like I'm just like doing this straight. Any questions so far? Any questions before we proceed? Am I disconnected?
No, we can hear you.
Okay, I can go ahead, right?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, basically what we want to do is we want to create an account, right? And what we do is tokenbound. Let's create accounts, which expects token contract. So the token contract now will be this token contract address, and then the token ID. Token ID, which will be this token ID. So this sort can be any number, which is also optional. So the reason why we have the sort there is just like increase like the order of like randomization, right? So like the randomization of the addresses, but then you can decide to add sort or not add sort, but then I'll leave it out for now. Yeah, so what we did here was that, sorry, let me format this. Yeah, if token address, when we trim it, if it is null or the token ID is null, we want to alert that the implicit cannot be empty, then set loading to true. Then we want to like run this action here. And think when after running this action, we can set this to empty strings and set token ID to empty strings. So I have like an NFT here that I want to like transform to a contract to a smart account. So I'm going to like pass in the address and the token ID. So let's just see if that works. Okay, so we are creating an account. Should be able to like see the payload. Okay, so this is the payload we're passing, the transaction coordinator that we're passing in. We're passing the from here you can see that the token ID is this, right? And then the addresses. So if I should confirm. So we've been able to like create account like that, although it's still loading, right? It's still like it's yet to be accepted in the network. So what would be next to like do is let's check the deployment status, right? Whereby you pass in the contract address and then you pass in the token ID and check the status and we'll see if it has been deployed or not. Any question on this create account before we proceed?
So one question I have is that the NFT to be deployed has to be the wallet signing the transaction. It can only deploy NFTs that it owns. Can it only deploy
Yes.
NFTs it owns?
Yeah, that's like deployed NFT that it owns actually.
Okay, no problem.
Because using the Explorer as an example, right? If you should come here, you can see that we are basically like indexing all the NFTs owned by a particular address, right? And then individually like deploying them. So they are idea of like this token bound, what do you call it? Did someone say something? I can proceed, right? I think someone said something. I didn't quite hear that. Okay. So let's go into status. So you should check account deployment. So it checks if the tokenbound account address has been activated using the create account. Returns a boolean indicating if a tokenbound has been deployed. Please mute your mic. Your mic is on. Created at the account address and contract hash. It's causing an interruption. Sure. So back to this. So we want to like check the deployment status of maybe if what we deployed as successful, if the account that we created as successfully like deployed, right? And going back to this section, the host, can you please like mute the person that their mic is on? It's giving me feedback from my own end. Okay. So we also like get the um our token bound instance here where we have tokenbound SDK. And what do we want to like achieve here? So we have two fields too, and we would basically have to like do some sanity check for the input fields to ensure that you don't pass in the token ID. Sure. Customer. And you return the thing. So we run a try catch here. And basically we want to get the status, right? So we have custom status equals to await token bound dot check account. So you might be wondering that what's like the usefulness of like this token bound manager. Imagine you, as you create account, you have like an API that stores the account you've created, and basically you can like fetch those accounts and display like the details of all those accounts. So it gives you like a one-stop entry point to like manage um, the smart accounts created by a particular address token ID, which would be the token ID. So we want to do such that, so we are getting this, so this is going to return the status to us. It's going to like be a true or false. And then we want to set the status. So if we get the response back, right, then we want to like set status. Set status to status here. Then we'd format the input field back token ID. Then if we have to like catch the error. Then finally set it into false. So let's log status here. Log status out. So see here. Okay. So the if you check the terminal now, you can see that this check deployment status returns two things for you. It returns a class hash and also returns a deployed state of true, which can be true or false. So how many of us like remember like what class hash are for, or like what instances do we like need them class hashes on in your project or something?
See, when
Anybody?
you declare a contract, you get a class hash, which will then use to like deploy.
Yeah,
Right.
so exactly. So when you want to deploy a contract, you have to like declare it first, and that declaration is basically like registering a blueprint onto the network, which means you can like create multiple instances of your contract using the class hash, right? So that is why you have the class hash. So in case you need to like do anything with what do you call it, with the class hash here, right? In case you need a class hash, right, for your deployed Tokenbound accounts, so you can just like call this check deployment status, check deployment. What's it called again? Check account deployment. Sorry, not check deployment status. Check account deployment. Then you can easily reference the class hash here, or if it's the state you need, you can reference that here. So what we are doing here is we are calling like the check account deployment, and if it's deployed to, if the state is true, right, you basically like disable the button. So that's like one use case. I don't know, in case you need it for your project. So I need to like get into this object dot deployed. Where is it? Here. And you can also like make this more interesting. Probably you'd create like a section where you can mint NFTs, right? And basically like create assets, and then you can have like a one-stop entry for everything, such as creating an NFT, creating a token bond based on that NFT, and basically like that. So you can check the deployment status of any contracts, any token bound account here using the contract address and then the token ID. Now that we've had like create out and then you have status out, then let's try and look into the account. So we have quite a number of things here, everything relating to account under this section. So we have get accounts, and what does that do? Get the account, the token bound account address for an NFT, and it expects the token contract and then the token ID here. So you might be wondering that, okay, all of these implementations are around like the token contract and then the token ID. It's because like we've abstracted majority of like what you need to like do for you, right? Just if you check in depth into the SDK, you see where like these abstractions are done, right? But it makes it easier to pass your contract, the token contract address and then the token ID, and then we can run the remaining logic for you and then give you like the required output. So just see it as like a roll-up SDK. We don't want you to do so much work. Sorry. Okay, get account, right? So we need to pass in token contract address and then the token ID. And going back into this section, yeah. So there's a lot of state management going in here. This can be optimized, but there's no time to optimize. So you can optimize in your free time. So undo get account. So we're expecting the token contract address and then the token ID, right? And let me split my screen again. Sorry. Yeah, undo get account. So Tokenbound. Yeah, so we need to get the instance of our Tokenbound out here. Use Tokenbound and get. I think you should be familiar with this already now. Then we want to call Tokenbound to get account. Just expect the token contract address and then the token ID. I'm making the sort optional here, but then remember, so I need to check that we have to ensure that those fields are not empty. Oh, token ID. Just a lot. False. Nothing. So I don't do I need to like explain why we're using like try and catch here and like this error mechanism? This way we're catching errors and stuff. I don't think I need to like do that. It's just basically to like to false. So we're getting accounts here, and accounts should return think an object basically. So let's say if account, right? Let's set account to account. Then set this input field to null and this token to null. Let me log what account returns. Consider log. account. So this is what we have here. Section and here. Okay, contract defined. Okay. Oh, okay, I didn't pass in the parameters here. So we're expecting sorry. This one express token contract. Then this one expects the token ID. Yeah, so let's see. Okay, sure is another function. Yeah, we are trying to like shorten the address. Sorry, I'm going to express. Constants. So this function is also a utility function that shortens like your long string address into a short form. Okay, let's try once again. The token ID is 28. Let's make sure this very function. We get the account. Okay, we get this X value. So let's try and format this X value. So I think I get where the issue is coming from. Let's format this account to a string. And this account states here what we are getting here. Let's format it to a string. So we have num.x. Count. Let's try again. Yeah, so it returns the account for us. So the reason why it was broken earlier was that the result we got from the SDK was what do you call it? Was a big number, so we had to like format it. And the way the formatting is done is you can check just using Starknet right? The num property, and you can see that it provides you with like a number of utility functions here to like convert like a large a big number to X or to any data type that you want. So you can check out Starknet too. So the SDK leverages on Starknet, right, to do some of its formatting. So if we check this section, let's search for num. Yeah. So test if a string is X string. Okay, this is X. what we used previously was to num to hex. So to hex is what we're searching for. Yeah, convert big number to X string. So we're getting big number before, right? And that was that error was being triggered. So we convert. So this method gives us the ability to like convert the big number to a hex value, which is what we have here. And let's check if this address like tallies with our contract address from like the deployment we made earlier. So let's check create account, check the transaction history, transaction details. So deployed contract. So say 0x52 ... BC9. Yeah, so it's correct. Yeah, so we've implemented this, and now we want to like implement like a lock function for our account. A lock functionality. Someone has a question.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I wasn't like following very well. This account that we just got here, is it the
Yes.
account of is it the account of the owner of the NFT that deployed the contract we are trying to retrieve, or what account exactly? Did we
No,
just
no.
get?
Let me like use a more visual representation for you, so you
Okay.
get what we are saying here. So if you come to the Explorer, right, you have this account. So you have this, right? And what we did initially was you pass in the contract address to create an account. You pass in the contract address, your token contract address, and then an ID. Then you create the account. Right
When
now,
you mean
your
token,
NFTs.
you mean the NFT address,
Yes,
the
okay.
contract address.
This contract address accepts the NFT contract address. Do you get
Okay.
that?
Yeah.
And it expects the token ID.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it passes that through the registry and then transform your NFT to a smart account. And it's called a smart account. Obviously, it's going to have an address, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's the address that we have here, deployed contract address, this one.
Okay.
Do you get? So it's that address that we are checking for here. Okay, we want to get the address of um, this the token bound address of um, where is it now? This NFT asset with this token data with this token ID. So I'm going to copy the NFT contract address, right? I'm going to paste it here.
Mhm.
Then the token ID. So my question is, what makes this sort of like unique now? Like makes it sort of like unique now is like the token ID, because the contract address is the same for almost every thing we're working on with here, right? But then token ID is unique, so we're able to like differentiate each NFT asset from each other, right? But then when you paste in the contract address here and then the token ID, it gives you the token bound contract address, and which is what the um, this get account. So it says get the token bound account address for an NFT. And one of the usefulness now is that we are using it here, right? So the address is actually like pre-compiled, right? So for these assets now, this address is, so if you deploy it now, we've deployed it actually. So this is the address, this is the token bound address we get for it, and if you check it on chain, you're going to see that it's going to reference the same thing, deployed address, BD1B. Check it here. Okay, that's BD1B. Yeah,
Yeah.
same. So does it make sense now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I wanted to ask something else. The other time when we checked
Okay.
for, is it like deployed something status, we got a class hash. Now that class hash,
Yes.
What was the significance of that? Could we have deployed that separately again, the way you deploy with a class hash
Yeah,
and
so
get the same address?
okay. Yeah. So you can deploy with a class hash, right? And I think I have to like check Starknet JS for how that works. For don't really remember the okay, deploy comment. The way I can easily get it is let me check my repo. I have a template like that. Sorry for digressing, but let me just show this script. Um, I think I was applying from class hash here. Yeah. So this deploy contract, can you see line 20 to line 23?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me zoom in. So that if you check so let me just repo back to what you said. Check account deployment returns two parameters for you. It returns the deployed state, which can be true or false, and it returns the class hash. And what can you use your class hash to do? Your class hash basically like represent your like you initializing the state of your project on the network, right? And then you can use that class hash to create multiple instances of your contract. Now to do that, and how does this class hash come into play? How do you like do that? So you can basically like use um, count dot deploy contract, right? Then you specify the class hash. Then if your contract has constructor parameters, you specify the core data. You know what constructor parameters are, right? You specify the core data, what the constructor parameter expects, and if it has no core data, right? If it has no constructor parameters, it will basically be null here. So the idea of what the class hash does when we check the status here is that it gives you like the capability on the front end to deploy factory contracts of your token bound account. I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay, getting the address like you did before on the front end
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
getting it right. What I'm asking is now, if you deployed with that piece of code you showed us now using the class hash, would the address be the same thing as what you'd have gotten, what you'd have retrieved
Of
from the
course, no,
front
no,
end,
no, no. It's to be a different address actually.
but still the same token bound? How does that work? Having different
You
addresses?
know, are you familiar with factory contracts?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, basically you have like a template, right? And then say you have like you deploy a contract now, and then you are able to like you deploy a contract, then you have a factory that deploys that same contract with the same logic, right? If you deploy another version of that contract, is it going to be the same address? No,
Oh, no, no.
it's going to generate a different address, but then the logic in it is still retained, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's the
Yeah,
idea.
thanks.
Yeah. Okay, we stopped here. Um, oh, we have just 30 minutes left. God, let me just speed this up as soon as possible. The get owner NFT. I didn't include it on the UI. Should have had a section for it. But let's see this section of like locked and is locked. You can quickly implement this. But then, any questions so far? Let's not just rush. Do we like get the usage and is it like making sense? Any question, please, before we proceed? Okay, underload. I think you can basically like copy the same thing from here and then reformat. Yeah. So I don't want to take too much of our time, so we can get to the connector kit. Expecting token compound address, and then we're expecting a timer here. So okay. So on the log, we're going to specify to be a timer here. Then what we want to call is log. Expect a TB address. This is TBA address. Which you're going to set to TDA here. And then expect a timer. So the timer basically like specifies the duration in which you want to like lock your token bound account for a specified timer here. And let's call this okay. Don't need to save this into a parameter because it doesn't return anything, right? You want to set TBA to the empty field, and then set timer to empty field. And the last one, let's get the status and check if it is locked. So unlock this screen. It's locked. So returns an array of Boolean and a uint256, which references the lock status of the token bound and then the time. So what is locked does now, it returns like the status, right? Is it locked, and how long? For how long is it locked for, right? So we just like do the same thing here. You want to ensure that the input field are not empty. Okay, we're expecting just one input field for this. It's locked. Do we need an input field actually? Okay, just this one. Okay. Set to true. So here we're going to get lock status, right? And this expects the TBA lock as an account. Then this returns to us two things. Then we're going to like set the sorry. Let me check again. That's array of Boolean. Okay, array of Boolean. So if lock status, then set lock to lock status index 0. We can set TBA to be a lock, to be a to string, and yeah. So let's try this. Okay. So the document address, so we have here, let's copy this. I say I want to lock for like 300 seconds. Okay, it seems there's an error. For it's undefined. Okay. Oh. Okay. So I'm trying to like debug it. Seems it's in something. Yes, correctly passed to the address timeout. Yes. Oh. Tokenbound the duration. Oh shit. Okay. I get where the error is coming from. It's not timer, this is duration in seconds.
It's 15K now, not like before.
Who is sharing money on the call? Yeah, so back to what we're doing. So we have the talking about contract address, and we have this, and then the timer. Okay, let's see. Okay. So you're passing 300 seconds, and once this is done executing, so you can, there is a method in Starknet that you can use to like get like the transaction status, right? So you can like perform actions based on that transaction status. Because right now, someone can like basically like run lock account several times, but then while your transaction is still like processing, you can extract the status and then do certain conditions based on that. You can check Starknet documentation, Starknet.js documentation for that to like know more about that. It's just basically to like have undo all edge cases, right? So if this one is done executing properly, still pending. Yeah, so let's check the status. So yeah, it's true. So so it's currently logged, and after 300 seconds, if I should check it again, the status like would be false. So that's that for this section. So this section basically like transfer token. We can give it a trial now. So I just quickly want to like check on the connector kit and explain some things on that. Any questions so far before we proceed?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so the question I have is, can a TBA account like assign somebody to lock and unlock that particular account?
like delegates its action, right?
Yes.
Well, at the moment, it should be possible. At the moment, it's not yet implemented. That's like should I say, giving like an approval or something for another person to like execute actions on your behalf. Yeah, it should be possible, but
Okay.
we don't have the feature currently.
Okay. So the second question I have is, can an NFT, sorry, a TBA account deploy under TBA? Like, I have a TBA account, right? Can I use it to deploy under TBA on under NFT?
No, and no.
Okay.
It's an NFT that you're turning into a smart account. Do you
Okay.
get? Yeah.
Okay. So
But then you can perform actions using your talking about account, which we're going to like see in a bit. Where is this folder?
okay. So you
I'm
can't
with
deploy.
you. I'm with you.
So you can't use that TBA to deploy another Tokenbound account on under NFT.
I wouldn't want to like rule that out because I've not tried it because basically um I think you should, because when you execute a call using the token bot accounts, the parent account is still the one like how do you say it? It's still like the root executor of that action, but then it's just like on behalf of like the TBA account. So I think it should be possible. But then I can't like give any comment on that. I can't say explicitly.
Okay. So I'm trying to sort of understand the area around the factory contract, right? Because I think if you can have like a factory contract, then that should be able to deploy other NFTs and use them from there.
So I didn't get that.
I heard you're talking about factory uh factory contract, right? So in my head, I'm thinking, so if there's like a factory contract, then it should be able to deploy other Tokenbound accounts, right? From there.
Yeah, so if you have like a so why we were like talking about factory contract initially was the idea of like your class hash, right? What's the usefulness of the class hash? Why do you need the class hash, right? Because it represents like all the logic of your function. And basically when you what do you call it? When you run with 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 the class hash you can like deploy multiple instances of your contract. And what I mean by that is if you check Starknet and documentation, there's a section that speaks about that. Give me that space. I think the documentation has been updated. So yeah. So looking at this architecture now, right? This is you have the network and then you have Starknet and then you have your dApp, right? So on the network level, right, we know that for those familiar with how to like deploy Cairo contract, you know that you have to declare first, and then declaration basically means you're registering like a blueprint of your contract onto the network, and then you now like deploy afterwards, which gives you a contract address, right? And then declaration creates a class hash. So once you have this class hash now, right, you see that from this class hash, you can create instance one, instance two with different contract address one, another different contract address two. So that was what like prompted discussing about factory contract and stuff. So but more or less like using like the class hash like deploy factory contracts. I don't know if that answers your question, but that was the conversation we had earlier.
Okay, yeah, that answered the question.
Yeah. Um, okay. Um,
Sorry, just another question just before you go on, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. For the locking, right?
Yes.
When the time elapses, it gets unlocked, right? Like automatically.
Yes, it gets unlocked. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. And once it locks,
Yeah.
you can't move asset from it.
Yeah, you can't do anything with it. You know why? One reason why you have the lock is that your smart account basically contains a lot of contains assets, right? And what I mean contains assets is now you're turning like how do I like demonstrate this? So now you have like an NFT that you've turned to a smart account, right? And then say you've been operating the smart account for a while, and you later so while you're operating the smart account, you've like sent NFT into it, you've done a lot of things into it, and say you want to like sell everything at once, right? It's risky to like just like list it onto a marketplace without like having like necessary measures, right? So that's where the locking concept comes in. Do you get? So it gives you like a way for you to like lock your account for a while you like sort of like run uh, while you await for a particular action to like be done. I don't know if that makes sense.
That makes sense. I mean, even if I'm a buyer, I won't buy it if it is not locked, because that means you actually like move it before you can actually like a lot of things can happen within that period. So yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's just like a way of like gatekeeping actually.
Yeah, but I mean, as a buyer, you want to be sure that it's locked before you buy, so that everything moves to your own end before.
Exactly. So you don't get rock pulled or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know if rock pull is the word, right? What to use. Okay, let's build. Oh, this is shooting. Start. We have just like 10 minutes left. Import. I've installed dependencies here. Oh, okay. 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 Connectkit. So to install the document connectkit, you would use I just want to like show how connectkit works. So any other question before we proceed? And I know like some of us are like looking forward to like the smart contract aspects. So that would like be kicking off tomorrow. So you like understand how to like leverage on the you have 651 in your contracts tomorrow too, which the session will be held by Darlington. So let me just explain why I wrote this. So we have like so the the idea behind like the connector kit is basically to enable you to like run execute transactions using your tokenbound accounts. Now you know your tokenbound accounts have assets in them, fungible and non-fungible assets. That means you should be able to like pay gas fees and things like that, right? So looking at this, so we have a tokenbound connector, and then we have a tokenbound modal, and then you have like a use tokenbound modal, and then the tokenbound modal is a modal, right, expecting certain parameters, right, and the use tokenbound exposes.
Your screen is not visible.
You can't see my screen.
No, we cannot see your screen.
Oh, since when?
I think since after you stopped answering that other guy's question.
Oh, so sorry about that. I didn't know. Okay. But can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see now.
Okay. This is this. Sorry, give me a minute. Okay. Which folder am I looking for? Oh, yeah, TP SDK. Oh, this is like the actual. Sure, let me explain what's going on here. So this modal basically exports this use talking about it's a hook that exports certain like the state of the modal should is it open, is it closed, the value, and then the selected options. And okay, let me create a React app. So that's the example somewhere. This. Chart. So we should have the let's talk about connector. Yes. It's running Jan install. Yeah, so you get this variables from the token bound, then you need to like specify two things. Basically, you need to like specify the token bound address and also like the option, the parent account ID now specifies which wallet you want to like use to connect with your external dApp. Is it your Bravos or your agents? Would see that once this installation is done and able to like execute actions based on that. That is chopped up. There, sorry, a minute. Okay, my screen is not sharing, right? Can you guys still see my screen?
No, you're not seeing
We
your
can
screen. That's gone off.
Sorry, I think it's my network. Sorry. Um, sorry, no one said anything. I didn't know.
No, it just went off.
Sorry, I'm coming. My network is not stable.
It's back.
Okay. Let's use this. Yeah. So let me just explain like the block of codes we have here. So why do we like need the connector? I don't know if you've explored the token bound on Ethereum, right? So then it basically enables you to like execute actions, right? Like initiate transaction, sign transactions, and like works basically like a normal account, right? And then to integrate with it, all you just need to like do is install this, right? And then sorry, export the hooks, then you configure it here, whereby you have to like specify the value. The value now is expecting a token bound address, and then the account is expecting like the selected options. Going back to the code, we've exported these values from here, from the use token bound, and we are configuring the token bound collector to receive a value of address, token bound to receive a value, and which the value basically is the address, the token bound address you specify to it, and then you have like parent ID, which is a select option where you have to like choose either your parent account should be agent for or Bravos. So just to like show that here. So if I should connect wallets, right? I want to connect to this account with my token bound. Which token bound address do I want to connect with? Which wallet do I want to like use as the parent account? So let's go back to let's use this deployed contract address. Remember the account we created, right? And specify this one here. Okay, select parent account to be this. So yeah, we've connected with this now. So we have like a demo contract here that increase and decrements a counter. So basically, if you increment this counter now, and then you check the execute function. If you check the call, you'll be able to like trace. Okay, we'll trace that on the stack scan and see basically. So let's get counter. Set this here to see. So the funny thing is, not funny actually, but then the parent account, which is this, did you see this account now? One B D1B is the sender's address, right? But then the action is being like executed on behalf of the token bound, right? So why would you like use this? I should have like you can check into like token bound implementation on Ethereum, right? So when we like trying to like research into how we are going to like implement this on Starknet, we tried integrating like a token bound with Uniswap EMM, right? And then when you execute the action and then you trace the execution call, you tend to like notice that the main executor, right, is the parent account, which is this address, which is doing that on behalf of the um, token bound. And then if you check the parameters here, you can see that this token bound address is being referenced here, right? And alongside other parameters. So the basic idea is you can use your token bound to connect to other dApps, execute actions on other dApps and things like that. So I don't know, people that like want to like explore that option. So let's see, we have counter to be 37. Let's decrement and check the execution call, basically. So this contract, okay. I don't know if Darlington has something to add to the reason as to why we have the connect kits. Is Darlington, you on the call?
Yeah, I'm on the call. Basically just like it said, right? The whole essence of the your 655 phone, unless they sneak 14 on Starknet, right? Is to turn NFTs into full-fledged accounts. And this means that if NFTs are account, it just makes sense that you should be able to like what's it called, execute transactions with them, like interact with Starknet apps using like your tokenbound accounts. And that's the reason why we had to create the Connect kit. Now we feel like our implementation is even like quite a bit more better than should I say the implementation on Ethereum, because I think with the implementation on Ethereum, you have to like go on the Explorer, connect to the Tokenbound account, and probably get the address and the wallet connect. Yeah, implementation, we basically just use that measure. So how it works behind the scene, like Kelvin explained, right, is you have what we call the parent account, and the parent account is basically responsible for like should I say paying gas fees and stuff, right? So what the parent account does basically is it calls the execute method on your tokenbound account, passing in the call data of that particular transaction, and the tokenbound account then executes the transaction. Now with the connect kit, essentially you can basically connect to any Starknet app at all, in as much that Starknet app is integrated tokenbound. You can connect to that app and use your tokenbound account to like let's say execute transactions. So that's just the whole idea of the Connect Kit. So we are looking forward to adding it to Starknet Kits. There's like a lot of refactoring and refinement going on behind the scene. But I would say as now it can be used, you can definitely play around with it in your project. But we're going to like I'm going to add it to Starknet Kits, and so you can just basically import it like if you like well, if you look into import it, yeah, to use it at the moment, I think we have like very detailed instruction in what's it called in the uh in our documentation, and you could also reference like you can always come back to this workshop that Kelvin just led, and yeah, I think that's it from mine.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, the connect kit is still in works. There's a lot of things to refactor actually, as Darlington said. But for this hackathon, like, it's very much in a good state to use actually. So it's quite straightforward and yeah. Any questions so far?
Okay, so a question that I have is that, like, when logging into this app now, I noticed that you can't really, you need to deploy your account separately before making use of this account. So maybe, like, if people are, like, I mean, like, if people are, if you send the link to somebody, is there a way to create the account and is there a way to create the account and also log in with connectkit? I don't know if you understand my question.
So you're saying, can you like interact with external DApp without creating a Tokenbound account? I'm not sure I get your question correctly. Hello, can you hear me?
So basically what I'm saying now is that when you're trying to log into the DApp right now, I notice that you have to separately go and deploy your account before logging in. Is that like
No,
a
no,
normal?
no, no. Okay, this is it. Let me just do something. I didn't separately like deploy the account. Now, why I referenced so so to connect, okay, you want to connect to the account, right? And then you need the tokenbound address, right? So that means your tokenbound account has to has to be existing already. And remember from like the demo we did earlier, we deployed the tokenbound account, right? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
you
right?
deployed it.
Yes, we deployed it. So that is the address I copied here. I think I'm not sure it's this one. Yeah, I copied this one address here. So that means this token band already exists. So let me just connect with one token band from like the Explorer, TB Explorer, token band account from the Explorer.
Yeah, we can't see your screen anymore.
Oh, sorry, I'm coming. My network is messed up. Sorry, I'm sharing my screen now. So can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Yeah, so if I come to this Explorer now, hope you're following. I have this list of NFTs, right? And let me check this code whisperer. I've transformed this into an account, right? I've transformed it into an account and I get this address. So now I want to connect with this smart account that has this address that ends with F6. I want to connect with it, right, in an external app, right? So all I just need to like do is specify the contract address I want to use, right? The contract address of the token bound account, right? Which means it has to have been like been pre-deployed. The account has to have been deployed, right? And select the wallet I want to use to connect, right? Which should like connect here. So you can see that the connected address now is this account. So if I should execute this transaction, it's going to go through. That means you have to like have created your Tokenbound account beforehand before you can use like interact. I don't know if that makes sense. Do you get that? Or did that answer
Yes, I
your
understand.
question?
Yes, it answered my question.
No, all right, all right, all right. So you can just like check the go through the Explorer and like try and play with and understand like the whole flow. So most of the functions we will like tested out today are like integrated with the Explorer, right? Like the check, the get account, the transfer set and things like that, and also just refresh. Okay, this is an endpoint actually. It's not part of what we implemented. So that's like the simple overview of like the SDK, right? I don't know if you have any other questions before we sort of like round off. So just a last note take from me. I don't know if anybody wants to like continue with these projects, right? If it seems interesting to you, it's more of like creating like I don't know the right word to use, like a token bond manager, something. But yeah, that is it from my end. Thank you for coming to my TED talk. I hope I didn't confuse you and convince you to use our SDK. And if you are confused, please ask question.
So we didn't use the transfer assets in the movement kit.
Okay, let's I was trying to like ensure that we touch on like the token bound the connector kit before because time is so spent. I think we're stop by 6:30, right? But then it still basically remains the same,
sorry,
right? So
yeah, Kelvin, sorry. I just wanted to say we are way behind schedule, right? And I think it's literally the same. Like using the documentation, you see, like it seems as like what has been done to you. So you could definitely like try that out later. I don't think we need to like really work on implementing it.
yeah, I understand. So if you have any question, if you have any difficulty, just reach out to me on Telegram. Let me drop my hand so we can I can drop a comment on what might be wrong. So this is my Telegram handle. So just reach out to me if you're trying it out on your phone or you need like a second opinion on something you're working on. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Kelvin, for this session. I think it was actually super insightful. Guys, tomorrow we're going to be having the last workshop, and we're going to be walking through how you can extend the components contract and probably play around with it for like let's say for the smart contract aspects, right? So if you're interested in that, do also join the session tomorrow. But rest assured, you can actually like you can actually build a full-blown application just using like the SDK, um basically everything you've seen today, right? You can actually build a full-blown application using that. That's the whole essence of like the development kit, to ensure that you don't have to like get your hands dirty with playing around with contract and stuff. But tomorrow I'm also going to be looking at how you can, let's say, extend the account contract, add new features and stuff like that. So don't miss the session tomorrow. Thank you for coming around, and yeah, for the recording is going to be available tonight or tomorrow morning. So yeah, take care, guys, and I'm very much looking forward to the exciting things you come up with. Yeah, good night, everyone.
Mine too.